Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we've got a showdown between Parkside tools from Lidl and Hychika tools from Amazon. We'll be testing out angle grinders, mini chainsaws, and of course a corded jigsaw. Because as some of you might know, I am somewhat of a woodworking specialist. First up, the mini chainsaws. We've got a Parkside 20-volt model and a Hychika 20-volt model. The Hychika features a brushless motor, while the Parkside sticks with what it knows best, a classic brushed motor. As for the bar length, the Hychika gives you an 8-inch bar, while the Parkside has a 6-incher. And it just keeps getting better for the Hychika. This Parkside model is actually their top-of-the-line mini chainsaw, yet it looks like chain lubrication was kind of an afterthought. The Hychika, on the other hand, has a proper integrated oiling system. With the Parkside, your only option is to pour oil on the chain manually, which is, let's be honest, guesswork. And at some point, I will forget to do it. It's just inevitable. And I am feeling sorry for the chain just thinking about it. Anyway, let's tighten up the chain and get it ready for some work. With the Hychika, it is simple. Unscrew this cap, fill it with oil, and you are good to go. And before you ask, no, you can't just throw in some 10W40 because you own a BMW and have had to move in next to an oil refinery. Use proper vegan organic chain oil, please. Oh, and look here, you even get a little window to see your oil level. Just like you used to on your BMW though, even after topping it up, it somehow still looks like it needs more. Word of caution, one fill up with oil won't last through a full battery charge. You might need to refill it halfway through, so keep an eye on that. Both tools are running on 4A 20-volt batteries, both fully charged. Place your bets in the comments. Are you Team Hychika or Team Parkside? So, let's get testing then. This is the size of the first cut for both tools. Well within their comfort zone, I think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. The comment section is also open to all BMW owners. Go ahead. I dare you. It is going to be a side-by-side with the Hychika on the left and the Parkside on the right of your screen. I did make a couple of cuts with these tools, and this is the best the Parkside could manage. That brushless motor really showing its worth in the Hychika. It gets the job done in 21 seconds. The Parkside, on the other hand, needed an additional 16 seconds to get the job done. How about that? Did you expect that big of a difference between these two? I did say that was the best the Parkside could do, but I didn't say anything about the Hychika, did I? In fact, that was one of the worst times of the Hychika. Just have a look at what it does here, a full 6 seconds faster than itself. Let's move on to something a bit more demanding. Let's see how they handle this tree stump. I have to hand it to the Parkside. It has a shorter bar and I think an underpowered motor, but it is determined, I'll give it that. It did stall a couple of times, but it got there in the end. Now let's see how the Hychika does. As for the Hychika, the extra bar length that it has and the power from the brushless motor really make it a joy to use. And because it never stalled, it got the job done in about half the time. There are lots of cuts you didn't see in the video because I can't show you everything, but after making the exact same number of cuts with these, the Parkside is down to its last bar of battery, while the Hychika, thanks to its brushless motor, is down just 1 bar. So for me, the result is more than obvious. It might cost more, but it's money well spent. The winner for me is, obviously, the Hychika. Now let's talk about angle grinders. Our first contender is this Hychika cordless angle grinder, which has a physical power switch. Call me old-fashioned, but that's the way I like my angle grinders. But for some reason, they have decided to go with a 150mm disc on this. I've decided to test the Hychika against my all-time favorite Parkside brushless angle grinder. which also has a physical switch. It does, however, use a larger 125mm disc. But in order to make things fair, I spent this month's wage on these two hella superior cut discs. I really hope they live up to that, because of how much they cost. So the Hychika has its superior hella disc and its full 4A battery installed, and it is ready to do some testing. No speed selection on this, just an on and off switch. I am testing it against this Parkside Performance angle grinder, because that is roughly where it stands in terms of price. The Parkside though has speed settings, and it will be on its maximum setting. It will also be using a fully charged 4A battery. The first test is to see how they handle a cut through this 5mm thick piece of steel. Once again, we've got the Hychika on the left and the Parkside on the right. A slow start for the Hychika there, but the Parkside really justifying that performance bit in its name. In the end, the Hychika was 6 seconds slower, but it got the job done. Now, just to be sure, let's repeat the test. But let's be fair here. The complete Parkside set with the tool, battery and charger was around €100 because I got it on sale. The Hychika grinder, battery and charger combo is currently around the €70 mark. So, I think considering the price, it's an excellent performance so far, albeit slower than the now discontinued Parkside. And quite honestly, it's a lot closer to this Parkside than I ever expected, because if you look at this video, you'll see that the current green Parkside is nowhere near its brushless cousin. Now let's do some grinding so you know what to expect. First up, the Hychika, which came with grinding discs in addition to the cutting discs that were in the box. In terms of grinding, if you leave it alone, it will get the job done. Maybe a bit slower, but it will get there. However, if you force it into the material, it will bog down and eventually stall. Now, for this comparison to work, I need to show you the Parkside as well. I will be using the same Hychika grinding disc because I don't want to sell my car in order to purchase hella grinding discs. Although, I have to say, the cutting discs were well worth it. The Parkside once again showing why I bought it. It never bogs down and never even a chance of it stalling. The best angle grinder from Parkside, hands down. So what's the verdict on the Hychika? I think it's good for the price, but there is room for improvement. That's my opinion anyway. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. But before you complain about it not having any speed controls, neither does this much more expensive Milwaukee. Now let's get back to basics with this, a corded Jigsaw, which comes with a couple of different blades in the box, and it has orbital action in order to make the best use of them. You also have the option of attaching some sort of dust extraction to it, and it has a tilting base so you can cut at an angle. It also has an inbuilt laser, which is bright enough to be seen in the shade, but sunlight is a bit too much for it. Finally, this Jigsaw has 6 speed settings, with speed 1 being very tame, but be prepared for some movement when you get it into its top speed. Just like most other Jigsaws these days, it uses quick-release T-shank blades. So with the wood cutting blade now installed, let's see how it does. Absolutely no problems with that cut at all. I have now changed to the curve cutting blade, so let's try and get some shapes going. Well, that was easier than I expected, so let's give it another go. And once again, absolutely no issues at all. And look at these lovely shapes. Now let's put that corded power to the test with this much thicker piece of wood. And once again, no slowing this thing down at all. And I tried to make it as hard as I could for it. This piece of wood is as thick as the reach of its blade. Lovely Jigsaw, and I think at around the €40 price tag, both affordable and powerful enough for DIY use. I once again have the Parkside 400Nm impact wrench with a fully charged 4A battery and max settings. And the Hychika 350Nm impact wrench with a fully charged 4A battery, max settings by default on this. Now let's see how they handle 340Nm or thereabouts on this 27mm lorry nut. If you want to know more about these two, have a look at this video right here. Finally, let's talk about the battery platforms and chargers. Hychika tools usually come with one of these two types of chargers, but the difference is just in the shape. Both are 2 amp chargers, so they need around 2 hours to fully charge a 4 amp hour Hychika battery. That said, faster chargers are available separately. The Parkside batteries and chargers are usually sold separately. For example, this 4 amp battery and charger combo cost me around €50. However, this charger can fully charge a 4 amp Parkside battery in around 1 hour. And Parkside also have larger 8 amp batteries and 12 amp chargers. So let me know down in the comments what you think about these Hychika tools from Amazon. The angle grinder and jigsaw are not bad at all, but the mini chainsaw is the absolute star of the show for me.
Oil leak? What oil leak? That puddle under the car is just sweat from all that horsepower.
Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I have 2 other videos you might enjoy right here. And also, don't miss your option to subscribe and see more videos in the future.